Namaste everyone. Welcome to your yoga class. Today's half an hour class is going to be focusing on the hips. So basically the target areas that we're talking about today where we were doing a lot of work will be the four quadrants of the leg. So that'll be the front thigh, the quads, the hamstrings, the inner thigh, the outer thigh. And that's going to assist in exploring the various range of motion in our hips today, internal, external rotation. Basically, we want to focus on the hip because as a larger joint that has got a bigger range of motion, it's responsible for what goes on in the knee and in the ankle when we practice certain asanas. So whatever that the hip can move, the rest is going to follow. So oftentimes when we explore poses where the hip is either not properly warmed up or we cannot sustain certain asanas in terms of movement, we tend to actually compensate by torquing either the knee or the foot, and that can lead to issues further down the road. So today we will explore all of that. We will be looking at our active range of motion, understanding what is active range of motion, and active assistive range of motion, whereby we use muscles, we use props, and we use other limbs to actually help us to explore a deeper range of motion. So there's active range of motion, which is what you have naturally, and there is active assistive, whereby, like the name says, it is assisted. 2 blocks are optional today. You can have them on standby if you want. We'll only probably need them if your hamstrings are not very warmed up today, or somewhere towards the end where we will reach a peak pose. We're going to explore getting ourselves into Half Lotus today, Ardha Padmasana. We'll see if that is accessible to you, and if it is not, there will be other modifications, or you're just going to scale back your practice a little bit and continue practicing to build up to that Half Lotus, and then we will manifest that into a balancing pose, which is called a horse face pose. All right, so let's get right to it. I'd like you to come down on your back. Lie down on your back with your knees bent. All right. Now, without the use of your hands, I'd like you to bring that right foot of yours into a figure 4. So you're crossing your right leg and bringing the foot to rest on the lower part of your thigh. And you're going to pick that left foot up. Now lift your head up and take a look. Without the assist of your hands, what is the range of motion you have in your figure 4 currently? Do you see the knee parallel to the ankle? Or do you see the knee a little bit closer towards your body and the foot is resting on your left leg? All right, so this is active range of motion without the use of your hands, without too much deep muscular engagement. You're coming into a reclined figure 4. All right, so now with active assistive, you are going to bring the right arm through the legs, interlace the fingers, either catch hold of your left shin or the back of your left thigh. And you're going to pull your left thigh closer to you, bringing the right foot closer to you. At the same time, your right foot is flexed and your left knee is pushing actively into your right foot. And your right knee is moving slightly away from you, trying as best as possible at this point in time to keep your right shin as parallel as possible. But notice that external rotation that's happening in the hip right now, that right hip. You're going to feel it in the glutes, the outside of your right hip. Those are your external hip rotators, and down your outer right leg. All the way perhaps to the knee. Some of you may even feel it all the way to the outer right foot. Good. Now release. Bring the feet back onto the mat. Keep the knees bent. Let's do the other side. So without the use of your hands, cross your left foot into figure 4. And then lift that right foot off the floor, bringing the leg closer to you without the use of your hands. Now lift the head and take a look at your position on this side. Is it very different? Is it the same? Lower the head down and then use your hands. Again, the left arm goes between the legs to interlace the fingers, either catching hold of your right thigh or your right shin. And then pulling that right thigh towards you, giving a little bit of a deeper stretch going on. Flexing your left foot At the same time, pulling that left knee slightly away from you, trying to get a deeper stretch on that outer hip. And just observe how this side is feeling as compared to the right side. Not surprising, sometimes we do have asymmetry in the body. We're not always very balanced on the left and the right, the front and the back. Good, and then release. Just roll over to one side, pick yourself up, and come onto your all fours position, your tabletop. Stretching the shoulders over the wrist, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Let's press the toenails to press down onto the floor, yeah? And then from here, let's do 3 rounds of cat and cow. As you inhale, arching the spine from the tailbone, articulating all the way to the top. And as you exhale, round your back. Inhale 2, arch. Exhale, around. 1 more inhale. And you're going to exhale. Good. Now from your tabletop, I'm going to turn around this way so that I have a little bit more space. You're going to extend your right leg to the back. Flex the foot so the toes point down. And swing the leg over to your right side, keeping the heel as high as possible. If possible, get the heel in line with the hip. Fire hydrant pose. Okay, and feel how your gluteus medius, your buttock muscles are contracting to enable that leg to stay suspended. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, drop the foot down on your right side. Turn the foot slightly out and then come into a kneeling position, squaring off the hips for gate pose. Raise your arms up. On an exhale, bend to the right side. The right hand lightly touches the shin, opening up the left side of the body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale back to your center and bring the palms down and bring the leg back to the mat. Okay, now let's do the other side. Extend your left leg back. Flex the foot, toes pointing down. Good. And on your exhale, you're going to swing the leg out to the left side. The weight will lean to the right a little bit. Okay, flex the foot like you're pushing the heel towards the left side of your room. 5, 4, 3. These are your external hip rotators, your glutes working. 2 and 1. Drop the foot down, turn the foot slightly out for gate pose, dropping up the hip. Inhale, raise the arms up. And as you exhale, bend towards your left side. Breathing in and out through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale back to your center. Exhale, palms to mat. Let's bring the leg back. Sit back for a moment. Keep the arms outstretched. Sway side to side. Good. And then let's unfold into your first downward facing dog. If your hamstrings feel tight at this point in time, lift the heels up. And then try and straighten the knees with the heels lifted. Then gradually work your way onto pressing your heels down onto the mat. Perhaps even lifting the toes slightly, getting a good stretch on the lower part of the leg, your quads, your calf muscles, all the way down to the back of your heels, your Achilles tendon. 1 more breath here. By lifting the toes, you engage the quads, your front thigh muscles. Look forward and step to the top of your mat where your hands are. Keep the big toes together, heels slightly apart. If your hamstrings are still tight, have a little bend on your knees. Otherwise, come up to your fingertips and lengthen the spine. Shift a little bit more weight to the front half of your feet, your forefeet. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you inhale, raise your arms as you come up to standing. Bring your hands to prayer position. Let's do a few rounds of modified sun salutations. Inhale, circle the arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Fingertips in line with your toes. Inhale, lift your chest. And on an exhale, step your right leg back, lower the knee down into a lunge position. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, circle wide to release the shoulders, palms down. Plank pose, take an inhale. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, coming into cobra. And exhale, back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, 1. Exhale. Inhale, 2. Exhale, good. Step or hop to the front. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Left leg back, exhale. Inhale, scoop the arms up. Exhale, circle to release. Inhale, come into your plank. Knees down, chest and chin as you exhale. Cobra, don't rush. Inhale. Exhale into your downward dog again. Inhale, 1. Exhale. Inhale, 2. Exhale. Step or hop forward. As you exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, return to prayer. Separate your feet, hip width apart. Raise your arms up. Take a nice big inhalation as you exhale, fold forward. Grab hold of your big toes with your thumb, index and middle finger. Inhale, lift the chest. If this is plenty, stay here, working on straightening the knees. Palangushtasana. Hand to big toe pose. If you can go a little bit further, gently bring the belly to the thighs. Your elbows will bend sideways to make space as you drop the head last. 5, 4. Getting a good stretch on the back of the legs, your hamstrings and your calves. 3, 2, 1. On an inhale, lift halfway. Release your big toes and bring your feet back together. Bring the fingertips in line with the toes. Step your right leg back, knee to the floor. Inhale, scoop your arms up. Circle once again and come into your plank. Knees, chest and chin. Exhale. Cobra. Take an inhale. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Now pick that right leg up. Bend the knee for your reverse pigeon. 4. Keep the shoulders square. 3, 2, and 1. As you lift the head, step that right foot outside of your right hand. You can turn the foot out slightly and let's bring the left knee down to the floor. If this is plenty, you stay up on your palms. If you can go a little bit further, test out with the right forearm and then the left forearm. You can always bring blocks and support and raise the floor instead. Okay, now feel that stretch on the inner thigh. So your right leg is now on external rotation. And you're also stretching the front left thigh. Those are your quads. Now, if you're on your forearms, you're going to bring your left forearm slightly diagonal. If you're on your palms, that's absolutely fine. Stay as you are. Twist to the right. Swing your right arm back. Bend your back knee. Catch hold of your left outer foot. Twist the chest to the right. Bend your right elbow. If possible, bring that heel towards your left buttock. Getting a deeper stretch on your left quads. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the leg and let's come back into a downward facing dog. Now keeping the feet hip width apart, you're going to roll over to your plank pose. Drop your knees down onto the mat. Keep the knees relatively close together. Point your toes back. You can use a block if you want to. And I'd like you to sit in virasana. You're going to sit between your heels and your feet are pointing straight back. You're going to feel this intense stretch on the front side of the leg from the ankles, the knees, all the way up to the thighs. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. And on an exhalation, your right arm is going to go below. You're going to wrap into Garuda arms. Bring the wrists towards the forehead and push the elbows forward for 3, 2, and 1. Unwrap your arms, stretch them overhead, release them to the floor, and go back into your downward facing dog. Inhale 1, and exhale. Let's pick your left leg up into reverse pigeon, keeping the shoulders square, pointing your left knee up to the ceiling, opening up that hip. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step the left foot outside of your left hand, turn the foot slightly out, drop the back knee down. Alright, now checking that this knee is not collapsing inwards. You want the thigh and the hip to externally rotate so that the knee points in the same direction as your left foot. Come down onto your elbows or stay high on your palms, your choice. Good, so keep moving this knee away from the body. If you're on your forearms, bring your right forearm diagonal, twist towards your left side, swing the arm back and catch hold of your right foot from the outer foot. 5, bend the elbow. 4, keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Make your way back into a downward facing dog, separating the feet, hip width apart. Once again, you're going to come into plank, drop your knees down, keep them relatively close together, point your toes back. Second round of virasana, sit down either on your block or between your heels, but don't float up. Raise your arms up, inhale. This time your left arm wraps underneath, coming into Garuda arms, pushing the elbows forward as the wrists press against the forehead. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, raise your arms to release. Exhale, go back into your downward facing dog. Inhale 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. Look forward, step or hop to the front. On an exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way back up. Release your palms to prayer as you exhale. Good. Now we're going to balance into tree pose. So left leg is your standing leg. Bring your right knee up. Catch hold of your right foot and press the foot against your left thigh. So your right leg, the one that's bent, is on external rotation. So feel the inner thigh rolling out. Knees pointing to the side. Look at one point in front of you. Don't look on the floor. Now, you have 2 options. One is prayer hands in front of your chest. If you want a little bit more challenge this Tuesday morning, you're going to bring your hands into reverse prayer behind your back. Don't hook the thumbs, just pressing all the 10 fingers together. Elbows pointing out to the sides. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now keep your reverse prayer hands or prayer hands, whichever variation that you were doing. Release your right foot, step it back, and come into a warrior 1 stance. So you're bending your left knee, planting that right leg down. Release your hands and then raise your arms overhead. Warrior 1, inhale. Exhale 1. One more inhale. And exhale 2. Interlace the fingers and fold forward for your humble warrior, opening up the shoulders for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the palms, step back into your downward facing dog. Look forward, step or hop to the hands. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way back up. And return to prayer position. Let's do the other side with the tree pose. Shifting the weight to your right leg, bring your left foot up. Push it against the thigh pushes back. So notice the correlation with the inner thigh and the foot. Both have to work together to support you in your balanced pose. Okay? And then choose your hand position, prayer or reverse prayer position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step your left leg back. Warrior one. Release your arms overhead. And really dig into that outer left heel to stabilize. Feel the opening of your left thigh. And then bring your hands to interlace behind your back. Humble warrior 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the palms. Step that right leg back into a downward facing dog. One more breath here. And then go ahead and bend your knees to the mat and come into a short child's pose. Arms can be either in front or behind you. Take 2 more breaths here. Slowly roll yourself up on an inhalation, and you're going to release the legs. Okay, so I'm going to face you here. Now let's come into fire log position. So we're going to be doing a lot of seated postures from now on to work more on preparing the hip for your half lotus. Let's see if that is accessible to you today, okay? So I'd like you to bring your right shin to stack on top of your left shin, like this, okay? So I'll just face you here. All right, so you might be here, that's fine. Or you might be here, that's fine. Flex both of your feet. So the heel is on the knee and the knee is on the heel. So the bottom foot sticks out about 2/3. So don't hide that foot underneath your leg, all right? Now let's bring your hands behind you. Lean slightly back. Now if your knee comes up, that's fine. I'd like you to actively, without the use of your hands, press your top leg down as much as you can. If you're very flexible, you have a good range of motion, you might not feel anything. You don't feel much. If you don't feel much, your option is to bring your hands in front and fold down to get a deeper stretch on the outer hip and the glutes. All right? So if your knee is up, this variation is absolutely great. You're going to work on pressing your top knee down as much as you can. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center, switch legs. Left on top. Again, find that parallel stack, flexing the foot. And again, choose your option. Lean back if this is a tighter side and you're like, whoa, my knee's flying up. This is your option. Push that knee down and lift the chest. Feel the work of the muscles without the assist of your hands. Or you could be here, bringing your elbows down, working into a deeper rotation of your left hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, keep the breath going, and 1. Nice work. Slowly come up. Release the legs, windshield wipers, shake them out side to side. Alright, so we're coming back into that figure 4 just like how we started, but we're doing a different variation. We're coming into an assist whereby we have a twisted element. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to bend your knees. So your shin to your thigh is about 90 degrees. Alright, and you're going to bring your right foot into figure 4. You can use your hands, no worries. Flex your right foot and keep this leg flat. So don't turn this foot this way to the outer edge. You want to press it flat, all right? From here, lift the spine, raise your right arm up, get a good length of the spine, and bring your tricep to the right arch, to the right foot. Now you might be here twisting to your left side, your palm is facing to the left side of your room. Or if you want to go a little bit further, if you have the capacity today, you can grab hold of your left ankle and twist the chest. And feel the foot pushing against the arm and the arm pushing back, giving you that active, assistive range of motion. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release very slowly. And bring the foot back down. Shake it out. Alright, now let's do the other side. Left foot. Flex it. So if this is a very tight side and this is your knee, you won't be able to do much except just working on the hip opening, all right? Otherwise, keep this foot flexed and raise your left arm up, lengthening the side of the body, and then whip that left arm over to the foot. Push the foot into the arm. Again, your palm can be waving at me, or you can grab hold of the bottom ankle, make sure the right foot is flat, lengthening the spine, and twist to the right side. Pushing the arm against the foot, and the foot is stepping into the arm to give you that rotation. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale and release. Shake your legs out. Okay, now from here, bend your right leg like you're trying to sit cross-legged, so you're more stable, lifting up the spine. Bring your right foot to the crook of the elbow and the right elbow as well. The knee to the elbow, okay? And then from here, you can either interlace the fingers or grab hold of your wrist. Lift the spine and start to cradle the baby. Okay, inch my way a little bit more forward. Good. Coming back to the center, bring your right arm over the shin, hugging that leg really close to you. Notice how you feel right now as compared to when you first started with your figure 4 on your back. Feel the hip is opening a lot more, or maybe more range of motion as well. Good. And from this position, what I'd like you to do is to release your right hand and hold the knee. So the hip is called a closed hip right now. So you're bringing the thigh close to you, and that is important when you're trying to do your half lotus pose. Oftentimes people yank at the foot when they do a half lotus. I'll show you the common mistake afterwards, okay? And then from here, you're going to slowly bring that right foot and rest it on the top of your left thigh, okay? If this leg is in the way, you can extend your left leg forward. Okay, now I don't know if you can see, but I am not dorsiflexing my ankle. So my ankle is not 90 degrees from the shin. The foot is straight, but the ball of the foot is very active. It's pushing forward. So this is going to help to protect the integrity of the smaller joints, which will be your ankle as well as the knee. So you notice how much work we've done putting into opening up the excess of rotational hip, in the hip in order for you to get to here. Your foot might not be here, it might be on the mid-thigh, but that's absolutely fine. It's something that you need to be working constantly. Lotus is not something that happens overnight, especially if you have limitations. Okay, I'm going to practice a few times. Okay, and then when you release, support the knee and the foot and release. So what a lot of mistakes people do is that when they want to do lotus is they hold the foot and then they yank from the foot and they bring it here. And this is going to pull at the ligaments here in your outer knee, and that's going to be quite precarious for the knee. You need to always protect the joint. So what you want to do is to close the hip first, support the knee and the foot, and then gently place it here. Okay, so this is an active assistive move that we have. All right, let's do the other side. So your right leg is like a seated cross-legged position, and you're going to cradle the baby, which is your left leg. Okay, with the crook of your elbows, rock side to side. Try to bring the shin as close to the body as you possibly can. And then from here, you're going to bring your left arm over the shin and pull it really, really close to you. Good. Okay, and then from here, left hand supports your knee. This one supports the ankle. And since the hip is closed, you're going to bring the foot into your half lotus at the hip crease of your right leg. All right, if you can, extend your right leg to the front, maybe flap a few times. There shouldn't be any pain or discomfort in the knee or in the ankle when you do this. And if you do feel this, you're going to have to repeat the earlier sequences a lot more in order to prepare you for your peak pose, which is your half lotus, okay? All right, and you're going to release. Shake it out side by side. So, if up to this stage, Ardha Padmasana, half lotus is accessible to you, you can try coming into Vatayanasana, which is the horse face pose. All right, so it requires you to kneel on one knee and the other leg is in half lotus. So your blocks will come in handy. If you don't have blocks, you could perhaps go near a wall or get a chair to support you, okay? So this is what's going to happen, all right? So I'm going to come into this position. I'm going to fold my legs back and come into a toe squat. My toes are tucked, all right? And I'm going to bring this knee to a closed hip position. So I'm hugging the knee close to me. And if you're not very balanced, you can always do the seated down. You can always sit down, no worries. You sit down like that, absolutely fine, okay? So if you're doing the seated version, you're gonna, again, hold the knee, hold the foot, and come into your half lotus pose. All right? Hands on the floor, and you're going to bring the right knee down. So you're landing on your kneecap. So again, if you have a very thin mat or you don't have enough padding, always put a cushion, a small thin cushion, or you can always fold your mat or a blanket. All right, so level 1 is where both kneecaps are parallel to one another. You're going to come into a kneeling position. Now this left thigh has to push against the foot, just like your tree pose. This is going to keep that right lotus foot in position, and so that it doesn't glide down, tuck the tailbone, stand tall. And your right arm is going to be in Garuda, so it's going to go underneath. All right, so you can work here. This is stage 1. If you want to go to the final Vatayanasana, your left foot is going to be on the mat. The heel is in line with the right knee. Okay, so this requires a lot more rotation and a lot more stability because it's going to challenge your balance. Squeeze your inner left thigh to keep that foot in place and slowly come to a kneeling position. Pull your core in, tailbone down, find your balance. Right arm wraps underneath. Bring the wrist to the forehead, push the elbows forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your arms down first. Bring your left knee down. The exit is so important. You do not want to wreck your knee. Sit back down on the floor or squat. And then release your lotus leg. Rotate the ankles. And let's try the other side. Okay? Okay, so again, lotus leg. Again, do not yank this way. You want to hold the knee. Again, toe squat is not an option for you. Do it seated. Hold the knee, hold the foot, close the hip, bring the foot up. This is the tighter side. If the foot is here, you're going to stay here on the mat. All right? Otherwise, coming to your Vatayanasana, either both knees this way, working on the balance, or bring the right foot, heel in line with the knee, squeeze that leg to the center, come into your balance first, wrap your left arm below in Garuda arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, unwrap the arms, lower your right knee first, sit back down, and release your half lotus leg. Shake it out, rotate the ankles. So half lotus is not something that you should rush into. Take your time, may not be today, may take a little while. Please practice with patience and compassion. Let's come into butterfly, Baddha Konasana. You should feel so good in Baddha Konasana now after all that external rotation and the preparation. All right, so I'd like you to bring the hands behind you, prop the spine up nice and tall. Exhale, lean halfway. Perhaps bring your arms in front. Lower your forearms down. So this is unassisted. You're not using your hands to peel open the feet or not using your elbows to press your thighs down. You're merely going to come to what range of motion you have today And by just leaning the body forward, you have a little bit of assist. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Inhale to come up very slowly. Bring your legs back in. Windshield wipers. Good. And then let's come into a seated cross-legged position. Just rest your hands onto your knees. Gently close your eyes. Just coming into a few seconds of silence, just you and your breath. And observe the changes in the body after the practice today. Slowing the breathing down. Enjoying the expansion from your practice. Bring your palms in prayer in front of your chest, honoring your breath, your energy, and your practice today. Rub your palms. Press them against your eyes. Relax your eyes beneath the eyelids. Rub your palms again. Place them behind your neck. Massage the neck, tops of the shoulders. And once more, rub your palms. Place them at the lower back. Massage the lower back. Slide the palms down your legs and bring them back to prayer. Gently open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. I hope you found that helpful. Please continue to revisit the practice again and again and again. Practice, pause. Do repeat the hip openers, the movement that supports the hip to internally and externally rotate. And always be very mindful of your knees. It is not worth it to come into a pose where the ankle and the knee is torqued in a weird position. That's probably at the end range of motion that you have at that particular point in time. And that's going to jeopardize the smaller joints, and you don't want that to happen. So always protect the smaller joints, work with the bigger joints. Okay? Thank you so much for practicing with me. Have a beautiful day.